Oh, okay, good deal. Welcome to Grace. This is so exciting for me. I am here in Belize. This is where I live. I live in Belize. About a year and a half ago, I moved down here and started a business and bought a farm and started to develop dorms for students so that they can come and learn cultural intelligence in Belize with me. I have the honor of being in charge of helping to develop the strategy for teaching students and for developing a really unique, exciting program for students that are coming into Grace. So thank you for the positive energy as I kind of try to outline to you guys what you guys are getting into and how I feel like you can really be served well by the program. So I'm going to quick pull up my PowerPoint on the screen. It's okay if you guys can't read it completely. I hope that you can. Let's take a peek at it now. All right, how does that look? Can you guys see it okay? All right. So, Grace Business Division. What I really hope from all of us today is we can kind of come out of here saying, taking ownership of being in the Grace Business Division. Right? Not so much just saying I'm here at Grace to play sports and then I also want to study business, but to really get excited about the fact that through some extraordinary circumstances, God brought you to this seat. And I want you to take ownership of that and really get excited about discovering what it is that got you so interested in Grace to the point where you could get to this meeting today. So I'm going to start with what can I expect, because you are here looking at a computer screen and all of a sudden it's a little bit different than anything that we've done before. Let me share with you my passion and my excitement for Grace, tell you a whole bunch about who I am and why I feel like God has called me into this role of being your professor and your mentor over the next few years of your life, and answer any questions that you guys might have about this program and what it looks like. So the first slide is, what can I expect? I have been at Grace for 7 years, just about to start my 8th year of teaching at Grace. I absolutely love teaching students. I love being part of your lives. I love being your cheerleader over the next piece of your development into whoever God called you to be. One thing that I think is different from Grace than any other institution is that I get to really be entrenched in your lives, and I get to try to determine your unique plan. How did God wire you? What did he call you to Grace for? What do I need to learn to put you into that next chapter of your life? So the way that I organize this program is, at the beginning of it, I ask for all of you to really take a look at who you are. This is a time of transformation in your lives where I really take a lot of time getting to know you all at a really individual level so that I can know you, can pray for you, and can help you determine, what is this job that you want to get at the end of your time at Grace? What are the talents that you really have and what are you passionate about? And then once we have that, then it's really trying to determine, how do you listen to God? How do we let God set that next direction for your life? And then what's next? What is the capacity that you're going to go out and serve him in? One of the foundational principles of this program is that your business, your calling into business, is not a mistake. You're not in the pastoral program at Grace. You're not here to be youth ministers. You're here to become part of the business program. What I want to be clear about at the beginning of this program is that is your ministry, right? Your gifts and talents for business and negotiation or creativity is all part of God's plan for the next phase of your life. A little bit about me. So I am just finishing up the final phases of my PhD program. I have an MBA and I am a certified cultural intelligence trainer, which means that I have a real passion for helping people understand culture and the way that we can utilize people from all over the planet to help us shape our ideas and help us to learn how to interact with people from all different backgrounds. In my own life, I have worked in small businesses. I spent 8 years in a Fortune 500 corporation at different levels of sales and management. I've started over 15 businesses on my own. 5 of them were unique to me. So my passion for entrepreneurship and the excitement that I have for new businesses um, will really help us get some real world tangible experience mixed into the school books, so that you can get a really unique opportunity to see both of them. The last job that I had before I dedicated myself full time to Grace, I was the president and CEO of a franchise organization. When I took over, there was 2 locations in West Michigan. When I handed the keys back over to the current leader, there was 25 locations across the United States with $10 million in sales. I don't say any of that except for I have been really lucky to watch God do amazing things in my life. It was never because I was brilliant or this incredibly savvy business person. I really feel like my skill set was loving people well and helping other people kind of unlock their talents and passions. And that's going to be my goal with each one of you individually, is to really pour into you, find out what you're passionate about, and then help you take the next step into your career. My own testimony is this: when I was working in corporate America, we felt a calling to adopt from Ethiopia, and I went to Ethiopia almost as like an ugly American. I went there, said, I'm going to go save this baby from Ethiopia. I'm going to do good things, then I'm going to go back to my life. When I was in Ethiopia, I met my daughter's birth mother and realized that the only reason she had to give up her child to the orphanage was because she didn't have enough money or resources to take care of her herself. And that totally changed my perspective in my life. And I realized that the way that God organized me with such a desire to help people learn business and to start businesses was the best way that I could help people in the developing world was not necessarily to give them money, but to teach them how to create their own money. I left Ethiopia and kind of went back and reflected on life and decided that doing business as a ministry was something that I was really, really passionate about. So my wife and I, we were living in West Michigan, and we packed up all of our stuff and we said, we're going to be missionaries in Tanzania, Africa. We moved to Tanzania, got rid of our job, our house, everything, and moved to Tanzania to become missionaries in Africa. While we were in Africa, my oldest daughter received a diagnosis of leukemia, and we had to come back to the States with no house, no job, and utter reliance on God. For 6 years, we battled leukemia on 3 separate occasions with her, and watched God heal her and restore her back into this beautiful, flourishing 13-year-old that I have today. During that time is when I was able to work in different businesses and different opportunities of helping to start the franchise organization and to really develop the idea of the business program at Grace Christian University. What I have learned more so than anything in my life is that your walk in the business world is all about watching God open up the right doors for you and being able to listen to him and understand his purpose for you as you see those doors open. And it's my job as your professor, and hopefully if you'll let me be your mentor, is to help you discern that voice of God in your own life and to really try your hardest to try and determine what it is that you want to really be passionate about and focus on that for your time that you get to be at Grace. So after I started the franchise company, my friend who originally started the program, he came back from being a missionary in Africa, and I gave that business back to him and said, you're in charge and you're the leader now. And I asked Grace if I could come back in a full-time role because I feel like teaching students at Grace Christian University is what I'm called to do. And it's a really strong passion of mine. And that's what I hope you guys will all engage with me, is give me a chance to really be part of your life and part of your journey on a really individual level, as well as on a classroom level. So what is the program built? So the core values of the business program at Grace I really believe strongly in individually focused education. We had somebody come to our school recently. His name was Dr. Tim Elmore, and he wrote a book that described your generation as the smartest and most talented generation that the world has ever seen. Nod your head if you agree with that. I like that. All right, you're still interacting a little bit. And a lot of you are saying,
dads are not sure.
moms and dads are absolutely not sure. And I respect that. What I learned from studying Dr. Elmore is that your generation needs a unique type of education. Because you're the first generation that has had the answer to all questions in their hand in the form of a cell phone. So my job as your professor is to figure out what you love and get you so excited about it that all you want to do is look it up on your phone and develop your own idea on how you're going to change the world. That's the most exciting thing in the world to me, is if you can take this look at education and understanding business and really try and fall in love with a couple of key concepts and really develop all of that skill and talent into an idea that you can go out and really make your mark on the world as somebody that goes out into the business world, sees it as their mission, and really develops their own sense of who they are and what they can contribute to the world. I teach in a way that really tries to foster creativity. At the beginning of the program, I do a lot of the traditional, here is accounting, here's how you do accounting, here's why it's important. And once you get that foundation, I will partner you with somebody in the real world that is doing something that you love. And I will allow you to work in a real business with people that are invested in our business program, so that they can use your real world experience as a learning placement, but also so when you go out of Grace and into the job market, you've got lots of bullet points on your resume that show people that you're not just somebody that has a formal education, but you're somebody that has a formal education and real world experience that will set you apart from other applicants. This program, I felt like maybe I don't even need to write Christ-centered on this, because there's no way you'll get through a lecture with me without me talking about how you need to understand Christ's call on your life in order to move forward in business, whether that is accounting or marketing or management or IT. We have a place for all of you, but all of it has to have Christ at the core, because as much as I can prepare you to get a job in the real world, I genuinely believe that at the end of this program, you're going to get pointed to an opportunity, because that is where God wants you, and that's where he's going to place you for the next chapter of your life. So take this next 4 years and really learn how to listen to yourself and listen to God. And that makes walking in faith after graduation really easy. So what are my passions? I study students and I study your generation at great length to try and figure out how to become the best professor possible. I use something called personal mastery. This is just the idea that every person has the ability to motivate themselves into really flourishing and becoming who they were meant to be. I see my job as your professor as a coach and as a mentor and as a facilitator to help you on this journey of really finding out who you are. The idea of business as mission is this idea that when you clock into work at 8 o'clock in the morning, that's an act of worship. And when you go out into the world, and if you're a salesperson or a professional, or even if you're working in the IT or computer section of business, that's an act of worship. I also have studied cultural intelligence at length. Cultural intelligence is this idea that in order for us to really be our best selves, we have to try and seek out the inputs of people from various cultural backgrounds. I know that we can do that at Grace, and I know that we're continuing to build a more diverse student body and diverse faculty. Part of what I do in Belize is I have a network of people from several unique cultural backgrounds, that you will all get a chance to work with during this program. We currently have students that are working for 3 or 4 separate unique businesses in Belize, all getting really unique insights into how people from the other part of the world view the world and how they solve problems. And throughout all of your classes, there'll be this element of cultural intelligence and learning how to really better understand how people that were raised in a different environment from yourself view the world. And then one of the things about me that I think will become abundantly clear is I know that one of my callings in my life is foster care. This weekend, I will have 10 children in my house in Belize. I have 3 biological children, and the rest of them are at different stages of adoption and foster care and emergency placements. I feel really strongly that part of the way that God developed me is I'm really comfortable in a house full of chaos, and I care deeply about children that have had a really rough start in life. And dealing with trauma and giving them opportunities to feel love and to understand God is the reason why when I went to Belize as kind of a fact-finding mission, when I realized God's call on my life to develop the foster care network here and to be a dad to lots of hurting kids, I had to find a way to stay connected with Grace in a way that allows me to still be a father to lots of kids here in Belize. So some of my lectures, you'll have kids in the background. I actually run a farm here. So I have pigs and goats and cows and chickens and horses and lots of employees that are all working on this unique business to create jobs in the developing world. And as part of your experience working with me throughout the program, you guys will all get to bring your talents and skills into this great farm project that is going to hopefully change the dynamic of an entire village in Belize. And I hope you guys can see the value and kind of the unique educational opportunity that comes with that. So how do I deliver education? At the beginning, so you guys are probably thinking like, the big picture is great, but you know, what does it look like when I show up in September? We use a lot of the same technology that all of the major schools work with. So a lot of our design for the beginning stages of the program are all taken from major universities across all of business education. So the same accounting text that you guys use will be used at University of Michigan, University of Texas. We're all using the same thing to get you a foundation. Once you've developed that foundation in the skills of business, that's when we really focus on your individual journey and partner you with businesses and internships in the real world. So the next one is my professor is in Belize, and then really, right? So I'm sure there's some of you that are saying, how is this going to work? What is the way that we can create this unique family environment that is critical to Grace as an organization? How do we do that from far away? One of the things we're called to do as faculty members at Grace is to be pioneers in education, not just to deliver the same standard education that people have been delivering all over the United States for a long time, but try to think about how to do it in a really unique way that's more engaging to students that are used to juggling lots of forms of technology and lots of relationships in a virtual manner. So one of the ways that I really spend my time focusing with students is I engage you on all forms of social media. If you are doing an online discussion with me, it's not just writing me a paragraph. You're actually going to be logging into Snapchat or Marco Polo or Facebook Messenger, and you're going to be talking individually with me as frequently as you want. Every morning I wake up and go on a walk, and I answer students' questions in a video format. So it's not like I'm just going to be this guy far away. I'm going to be Matt, your professor in Belize that's really invested in you as an individual, that will always interact with you at an individual level as long as you seek that out. And I think for your generation, that's such a critical piece of education, is that you have a chance to ask me questions, Professor DeYoung, I don't understand question 16. Can you go through that with me? I can create you your own unique video that says, here's why question 16 is a challenge. Here's how I look at it. Here's why it's important. And then you guys can continue on with your homework. The way that I combat being virtual, and I do travel back and forth to Grace, so it's not like you'll never see me. I'll be in April, and then when you guys get there in September, I'll be in again. So you'll have a chance to really see my heart and desire to watch you succeed. But I also am creating a network of business people across West Michigan that are all focused on helping Grace Christian University create a dynamic form of education. So I have people from all walks of the business community that are all willing to step in and be the face-to-face business ambassadors for our program, so that you get a good mix of this hyper-focused individual working in Belize that is going to be your main point of contact and your personal contact when you have individual questions. And there's also going to be people on campus delivering lectures to you face-to-face that really help you grasp it. And when you need to just sit and talk with somebody from Grace about business or about issues in your life that you really just need somebody in front of you, there's going to be a unique group of people that are all in the business office ready to take on that challenge with you. So I currently have recruited people that have started insurance agencies, people that work in accounting firms, and also people that have started business incubators here in Grand Rapids. And they've all committed to be part of your life as you journey through the business program here at Grace. So it's not all online, but your interaction with me as kind of the champion of this program at the beginning is that you're going to lean on me heavily to help you walk through this program. And you're going to have to just allow yourselves to get comfortable sending a message to your professor that says, here's where I'm at in life, here's what I need prayer for, here's the accounting questions that I'm struggling with, and allow me to be that voice in your life that really helps you develop those skills and talents in a way that is fun and exciting, and not just like a dry traditional education, but a really exciting and experiential look at how we do things. So what is my path? I'm going to learn what all of your majors are. My guess is, based on doing this for 7 years, there's a decent chunk of you that wrote down, I want to be in sports management, because you're here because you love sports. And Grace has got a great community of sports and a great heritage of sports programs. And a lot of you wound up in this seat because you're an athlete. I embrace that and I love that. And what I ask from you guys is that you start really engaging the business program, realizing that once you get out of Grace, it's going to be the business degree that really shapes the next portion of your life. So I'm comfortable with you focusing on athletics, but I also want you to really think that the reason you're at Grace is to study business and to do it in a way that is unique and really brings out your gifts. I will continue to develop personality assessments and skills assessments and gifts assessments. You're going to see a lot of that over your first couple of years in the program. And I will study you. I will study what I think you're created for, and then help you to determine your major or your career path based on a real strong assessment of your gifts. Once you really determine the best step forward for you, so if that's sports management, if that's marketing, if that's accounting or finance, I am 100% confident that I can point you in the right direction with that. If I find out that you're really highly skilled in accounting, we have a cooperative program with Davenport University where you can take a majority of your classes here at Grace, but you can dual enroll with Davenport University and finish an accounting degree there. If you want to seek out a degree in marketing and management, that's all things that you can see through the entirety at Grace. If you're finance or education or a few other specialties that we don't have, I will work with you every step of the way to make sure that your education at Grace and Davenport work hand in hand to get you all of the experience you need for the next chapter of your world. So what is your job as a student? It's to trust me. I know, especially in your generation, there seems to be a divide between teachers and students. I'm asking you to kind of put that in the past and allow this to be a really unique chance for you to fall in love with education again. I know when I was in high school, I didn't love education. I'm guessing that most of you in the room aren't there because you just love education. Most of you are there because you know that you need an education, or you want to play sports, or you want to make more money, and you know this is the best way to get a job once you're out of school. I'm asking you to trust me to really enroll in a program that's individually focused on you and your relationship with God and your ability to trust Him to find out what that next piece of your role in serving Him is in the business world. And then take a minute right now on this day, April 5th, 2019, and say, I'm in this chair at Grace Christian University because that was God's plan for my life. And that alone is really awesome. He has you here in this chair about to embark on a really scary journey of starting university and entering into the unknown. That can be really scary. It can be really comforting knowing that God put you in this seat because He's got a big plan for you. And there's nothing more exciting to me than knowing that I get to be part of that. Then we're going to help you find out what you're passionate about. And then we're going to really ask you to engage in learning. You will get out of this program everything you put into it. And the more time you spend seeking out learning and letting me be part of leading you down that learning journey, the more developed and ready you'll be to jump into the real world once you're out of here. And then your role as a student is to join the Grace family. Grace is a family, right? What you're seeing here is one hallway, lots of excited students, and lots of people that are all really excited to see you. This is not a show. For the next 4 to 5 years, these people will continually greet you by name in the hallway and pray for you and care about you at an individual level that goes much more holistically than just grading your papers. Join the family, get excited about the family so that we can really be a part of helping you grow into the person that you're supposed to be. So thank you. I'm going to ask you if you've got a pen and a paper to jot down my cell phone number and my email address. From this point forward, yeah, you might have to put it on the board if it's not big enough. But I challenge you guys to send me a message on whatever your favorite form of learning is, and let me be part of your journey from this point forward. All summer, if you're worried about what accounting looks like, just call me or email me or send me a message and say, Professor DeYoung, here's what I'm thinking. And let me be your professor that really cares about you at an individual level. And I really believe that this year marks the beginning of us really defining a culture for our business program, and you guys get to be a part of that. I would like for people to see that you guys graduated from Grace Christian University and just be so ready to hire you because of the culture and the environment of Grace. And it's my job as well as your job to help us make that something that is unique and exciting and desirable for people that are going to hire you into this world. So I know I did a lot of talking. I hope that I'm able to share with you my excitement for this program. Ivan, 10 points, you're the first one.
You did it.
Yes.
Hey, can I just say, like, does this excite you? Is this amazing? It really is. If I didn't know Matt DeYoung for the last 7 or 8 years and see how he does this almost could sound like a fairy tale educational experience, but my son actually went through the first Grace class that we had, and to see how he just invested in my son and helped him to become the man that he is today. And he's actually graduating this year from the first group of students that came through our Grace Business degree. And he's not getting a job when he gets out of college, which scares my husband still.
Sorry, Kim.
Prepared to start his own business, and he's confident and he feels God's will. He's starting a business. So it is amazing what Matt DeYoung can do if you just open your heart up and open your mind up and just embrace the learning experience that you have here. So do you guys have any questions? Is there anything you want to ask Kim? You can obviously video, chat with them, whatever you want to do, but,
What kind of business did your son start?
I can't tell you
Oh,
that.
oh, oh.
It's like, you know, you can't tell your secret until he starts it.
Oh, this is gonna be exciting. I'm excited.
Right? I shouldn't tell yet, right?
Well, and that's what I just want it to be exciting, and I want it to be exciting the whole time. I want you guys to, if I am not making you love education, you have the right to just send me a message and say, Mr. DeYoung, I need a new way of thinking, because the truth is all of you learn differently. And the beauty of Grace is that we're small enough that I can cater to all of your learning styles if you let me. And I don't want you to get a degree. I want you to get out and change the world. And that's what I think you're all here in this seat for. And that's why I'll continue to develop. And I got a parent of a prospective student. I'm not going to call you out, but ask me all the questions in the world. And thank you for trusting me with your kids. I know that's a big step, and I promise that I won't fail you. I will do everything I can to serve your students well and prepare them for the next step of life.
All right. So you have his contact information. Matt, we have the next group of students, I think, that are ready to join us. So do you guys have another place where you're going to hear about another program, or however they have the rest of the afternoon planned for you? So thanks for being here. Nice to meet you all.
Guys, thank you so much. I look forward to chatting with you throughout the summer so we can get you ready. Thank you.
This is pricey. Yeah, you